What's up, everyone? It's Bones here. I hope you all enjoyed the jank intro, but in today's video, I'll be revisiting Photon, as the last time I did this deck, I didn't know that Photon Jumper wasn't coming in Photon Hypernova, which was definitely my mistake, so I felt I needed to revisit the archetype to give you guys a proper TCG version of it. And in this first replay, what I want to show off is the quick ability to OTK with this deck, as our opponent didn't draw the greatest, and they're going to get the Surge off of Tragedy because they did have the Allure, and they're going to get themselves a second copy of Aluber. They're going to normal summon the first one, get themselves a Branded Fusion, and then from here they're going to go into the Lindworm. And you'll see that they dumped the Danger Thunderbird, and this was definitely somewhat of a more teched out build. The Thunderbird is cute because you can discard it off of the Lubellion, giving you a pop for a set card, but it had more implications in this build as it's a level 8, and you'll see what happens in a brief moment. But from here our opponent is going to set the Evenly. We'll go on to our turn, and we're going to start it by activating the Imperm, stopping the Lindworm, and then from here we can special summon the Thrasher, as we're going to use the Orbital, equipping itself to Thrasher. Now we're going to activate the Orbital, and this will get us the Galaxy Soldier, as we're going to activate the Galaxy Soldier, pitching the Galaxy Eyes, as we're going to use the effect of the Soldier to get us the Wizard, and now we can normal summon the Wizard. We'll use the Wizard's effect, and this will get us into the Galaxy 100, as now we're going to activate the Galaxy 100, send the Photon Emperor, and we can special summon this out because we control a Photon monster, and now we're going to link away into the Solar Flare Dragon, as we're going to use its effect to bring us back the Galaxy Wizard, and now we'll be able to get the second normal summon for the Wizard through the Photon Emperor, as we're going to use its effect again, getting ourselves the Galaxy Trance, and now we'll activate the Galaxy Trance, and then we can get ourselves 2 level 8s, as we're going to bring back the Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, along with bringing out the Afterglow, and this is how you get into the OTK. You basically want your opponent to have attack position monsters that you can just beat over, but then you want the Afterglow with any extra Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragons being just a plus. But we'll now be able to use the Galaxy 100, and we're going to take a Hope Harbinger, and this is where I said this is probably why they were also playing the Danger Thunderbird, as it gives them extra utility in what they can do with their extra deck, main deck, and also providing some removal. But this is just great for us, as if we didn't special summon out the Hope here, then you can argue that it would maybe be safer to go into the Photon Lord, but we kind of have already hard committed into the OTK at this point. But there may be some situations where the Photon Lord is better, so I still want to mention that. And now we're going to go into our Prime, as we'll then be able to go into our C62, and then we'll go into the battle phase, and at the start of the battle phase we'll activate the C62, which will detach the Afterglow, and they're just activating the Lindworm to get it out of the way, I assume. But we'll then be able to use the Afterglow's effect, which will get us an extra copy of Galaxy Eyes, while also boosting the attack of our Exceeds, and this will basically give us game, as we're going to attack for 6200 over the Aluber, and then we'll be able to attack a second time over the Lindworm with an 8000 attack C62, giving us more than enough for game. So a quick game, and something that I would like to point out is that it's something that you can expect from this deck, as it's either you're OTKing or getting hit at critical choke points. Talking about getting hit at critical choke points, you'll see that our opponent has Nib. They're going to start here with the Unexpected Die, and you can see what type of game this is going to be with the Evenly on one side and the Nib on the other, but you'll see that they're going to start with their regular combos, as they're going to use the Sowing, get themselves out the level 2, as they'll then be able to use the effect of the level 2, getting themselves back to Loki, triggering the Dryas, which will get them 1000 life points, and bring out the Thrasher, as they're then going to be able to link away into the Jasmine, go into a Dryas, then use the Loki for the healer, as the healer is going to get life points, triggering the Jasmine, which will get them a Search, and then they'll be able to search the level 6, as they're going to use its effect, which will bring itself out and get them a Search, as they're going to then get themselves the Rika Shift, and from here they'll activate the Con, get themselves a set, which I think they're going to get the Glamour, and they do get the Glamour, as they're going to activate it, tributing the healer, as they're going to get 2 searches now, and then they'll start by activating the Primula from hand, which will bring itself out, and then they can use the Jasmine in order to tribute the level 6, bringing out the Petal, and then from here they'll use the Petals effect, which will be able to search them the Snowdrop, and then from here they'll be able to use the Princess, getting them another special summon, as they're going to then go into the Queen, use the effect of the Queen, which will get back the Glamour to the hand, as they're then going to tribute off the Queen for the Snowdrop, and this will trigger the Queen in the graveyard, as they're also going to get 2 special summons via the Snowdrop, and they're going to bring out the Sacred Tree off of the Queen. Now they'll activate the Snowdrop, and this will basically turn the other Rika into a level 8, as they're going to go into the Teardrop, then link away into Melius. The Melius can get themselves the Loki, as the Melius and the Loki will now go into the Link 4 that negates and bounces, as they're going to set 2 and pass. So from here we'll just go directly into the battle phase, as we're then going to be able to evenly our opponent and then basically wipe out their board besides the Link 4 that they chose to keep. So from here we'll be freely able to combo until our opponent chooses to nib, and we're going to activate the Orbital, as this will get us the Galaxy Wizard, and then from here we can special summon out the Vanisher. The Vanisher will get us into a copy of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, as we'll then be able to go into the Starliege, and we do this because we have the Galaxy Soldier in our hand, but we're going to start here by normal summoning the Galaxy Wizard. They'll use the effect of the Link 4, and they'll target the Starliege, which is kind of what I wanted. I just didn't expect the timing of it. But from here they'll take the damage and then bounce our Starliege, as we're going to activate the Galaxy Wizard, getting ourselves the Trance, and then from here we can activate the Soldier, pitching the Galaxy Eyes, as we'll now get a search for the Galakaribo. In hindsight, I maybe should have gotten follow-up to play around the nib, but I was busy thinking about board wipes and protecting my board. Further beyond that, I just felt like in more situations, Galakaribo made sense at the time, but they did have the nib. And from here, we're going to activate the Trance, then get ourselves back the Orbital, as we'll be able to special summon the Summoner from deck, and this is the point where our opponent is going to Nibiru, as they're going to give us a gigantic token, and you'll see that they only have 5 cards left in extra, as they're going to get an Imperm for turn. They'll then activate the Link 4 in their graveyard to bring itself out by banishing 2 links, and then they'll be able to use the Glamour, but from here they're going to see they don't have an out for the Nibiru token, which will prompt them to scoop. So while not necessarily a great replay because of nib and evenly, what I wanted to show here was the importance of Starliege when starting off your plays, as it can help you in regards to protecting your stuff like Galaxy Soldier from targeting, but also some of the situations that you may come to. How our opponent had Nibiru, and you could have searched follow-up instead of the Galakaribo, but those are just one of the calls that you have to make depending on the format and stuff like that. Now this third replay will come versus Dinos, and they're going to go first, as they're going to start with the Extrav, and they drew a decent hand after the 2 draws, which get them into Ovi and Pill, as they're going to normal summon the Ovi, then get themselves the baby. They'll be able to activate the Diagram now, and then from here they can use the Diagram, popping the baby, getting the Litho, and now they can use the baby's effect, which will get them the special summon of another baby. They'll use the Ovi, popping the baby to get back the baby, and then from here they'll get a special summon off of the baby destroyed, which will get them another copy of baby, as they're going to use a Litho now, and they'll be able to pop the 2 babies in order to bring it out. They'll banish 3 from our extra deck, and then from there they'll get 2 special summons, as they're going to get the Petite along with the Scrap Dino, and then from there they'll use the Scrap in order to pop the Petite, and then from there they'll get the Petite effect, which will bring out the Giant Rex, and then we'll see the Link summon of a Lambda, as they're going to then go into the Lagia. From here, they'll activate the double Evo Pill, and this will get them into the Coatless, as they're playing it for the Spell and Trap Negate, which I guess it kind of makes sense with all the board breakers this format, but we'll then see the special summon of the Giant Rex here, as they're going to set the Imperm and pass to our turn. So this is a hand where I want to show that you do have a lot of gas to play through boards like this, but it does come with its pros and cons, and how this hand in particular actually will put the game at a 50-50 point. and we're going to start by normal summoning the Galaxy Wizard. We can then use its effect, which will get hit by the Gamma, and this will be the first of their 3 negations, or 4 negations that they actually have because of the Coatless, the Imperm, and the Lagia, which is another thing I want to point out. It kind of does take specific hands if you want to play through 3-4 disrupts, but you should also know that a lot of games versus 3-4 disrupts, it's not too likely that you're going to win those games. And we're going to activate the Galaxy 100 now, which will get met by the Lagia. And now we're going to activate the triple tactic, as we're going to get ourselves into the evenly. And this is what I meant by bringing us to the 50-50 point, because now we are evenly matched. And from here, we're going to go to our opponent's turn, where they will top deck the Misk. And that was such a great top deck, as they'll be able to use its effect now, and they even have the Giant Rex in the graveyard in order to bring out the Petite, special summon back out the Rex, normal summon the Arco, and from here I'm just going to scoop because we're at 4k life points, and with their ability to add Pill and special summon out another Dino, we weren't surviving. Had this been Galaxy Soldier along with another Light, however, there was a minor chance. Now for the final replay, and I think this will be like the quote-unquote longer one, as you can see a lot of the games with Galaxy are decided pretty quickly, so if you like one-hitter quitters, this is the one for you. And we're going to activate the Piri Raise, as we're going to get ourselves the Wizard, spending half our life points for that, as we're then going to activate the Wizard, get the Expedition, as we're then going to use the Soldier, pitching the Photon Dragon, as we're then going to get the Search off of the Soldier, which will get us into the Summoner. We'll then activate the Expedition, which will get us into the Emperor, so that we can get the extra normal summon. We'll activate the Galaxy 100 from here, sending the Orbital, and this is something that you can do, which is kind of cute, where we don't have Photon Jumper, so we're extremely limited in what we can do with Galaxy 100 because of that, and being able to send the Orbital to revive off of the Summoner is probably one of my favorite plays that you can do without the Jumper. So from here we'll see the Imperm hit the Summoner, and then from there we can go into our Solar Flare, which will get back the Orbital anyways, and then from here we can activate the Orbital, equipping itself to the Soul Flare, as we'll use the effect of the Orbital to get ourselves the Afterglow, and then we can activate the Afterglow, which will get us into the Photon Lord, and then from here we'll set the Book of Eclipse and pass to our opponent. Onto our opponent's turn, they'll draw into the Rescue Rabbit for Time Thief, and they'll start by activating the Imperm on the Photon Lord, which we're going to respond to that with the ability to add a Photon Dragon for the Soul Flare pop, and from here we're then going to see them normal summon the Regulator. With the Regulator on board, they'll use its effect to bring out the 2 Time Thieves from deck, and this is the point where I'm going to Book of Eclipse, and it's because they just want to rank 4, and if they can't extend beyond that, as we see them get the Adjuster to hand, meaning they didn't have it in hand or anything, the special summon off the 2 special summons here, which in most cases will prompt the end of their turn, though there are cases where they could have like Snake's Reign and stuff like that, but the scary thing here is how Book of Eclipse will get them into the 2 draws, and they do get an Ash, and we're going to start here by just attacking with our monsters and passing, and this is kind of how the game devolves as it went on, as there wasn't too much we could do. These are both decks that I would describe being at the same tier right now, as one interruption at a well-timed point can end both of their days, as we're just going to see that happen. And I thought I was going to get even lead here, but that did not happen. And we'll get a draw and a pitch instead, because that's apparently what they were looking for. And from here we'll get the effect of the Photon Lord, as we're going to negate the Ash, and we did this because it was at the end phase, so I wasn't fearing a triple tactic or anything. And we'll get our search here with the Photon Lord, as we're going to also detach the Emperor, and this is so that we can bring back the Emperor to our field, so that when we go to our turn, we have the Photon Sanctuary searched off of the Photon Lord to go into a second Soul Flare. But we top deck a Trance anyways, so we'll just use that in order to get us into a rank 4, but we won't even make it there as my opponent scoops. Now finally onto the deck profile, and the only thing that's really changed is the fact that we don't have the Jumper. We did have to replace that, which I added the Sanctuary for it, and then the other 9 slots in my previous list I had, because we were still in tier format, were Bestials. But now I've put in 2 imperms, 2 evenly, 2 Book of Eclipse, 2 thrust, and 1 talent, and this is because I wanted diversity in the going second cards that I could draw, while I also wanted some going second cards that were also going first cards. As for the extra deck, it's kind of convenient that you can play your 2 of Galaxy Photon Dragon, your 2 of number 90, your 2 of Soul Flare. With Kashtira running around, you don't get punished by it too much, but that deck is still really hard to deal with for Photon. They end on a board that basically is just a bunch of defense position monsters with Fenrir and Unicorn to snipe the hit cards, giving you less resources to work with. Outside of that, if you want to play the second summoner over the Galakaribo, you can. I just don't like playing the second normal summon. Really the fifth, because you have the 3 wizard along with the 2 summoner, and this is one downside for this format that you do have, and it's that your best card right now, which is the Emperor in my opinion, does want you to normal summon, and there's a lot of cards that I would like to play like Denko, which don't want you to normal summon, and I just feel that without Jumper, you can't play a build like that because your best send off of Galaxy 100 right now is the Emperor. Still a very fun deck if it's something that you want to give a try to. And because it's lower tier, you shouldn't really maybe expect too much, but if you're somebody who just likes playing the game for the enjoyment of it, you happen to like combos and quick OTKs, then this is probably a deck for you. I think the last thing that I could talk about is how the Pure Rays could maybe be part of Prosperity. It just feels like when you're able to bring out the Galaxy Wizard off of the Pure Rays in your brick hands, it just fixes a lot of things that Prosperity only gives you a shot to. So again, when it comes to Pure Rays and Prosperity, you should probably make a business decision on that one. Anyways, I'll get onto the card by card, and we can start with the 1 Afterglow, the 3 Photon, the 3 Galaxy Soldier, the 3 Orbital, the 3 Wizard, the 3 Thrasher, the 1 Vanisher, the 1 Galakaribo, the 1 Summoner, the 1 Emperor, the Sanctuary, the 0, the France, the Expedition, the 3 Galaxy 100, the 3 Pure Rays, the 2 Imperms, the 2 Evenly, the 2 Book of Eclipse, the 2 Thrust, the 1 Talents, and the 1 Rhoda to round out the main deck. Onto the extra deck, we have the 1 Lina, which might become a 3rd Soul Flare, and it's because I don't go into Lina as much as I thought I would. But from here we have the 2 Soul Flare, the 1 Zeus, which may be bumped up to 2 as well, I'm unsure about that. We then have the C62, the Prime, the Cypher, the Armor Photon Dragon, the Hope, the 2 Lords, the 1 Starliege, the Photon Dragon, and the Bagu to round out the extra deck. Anyways, if you made it this far into the video, I thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them down below. It's Bones, signing out.